Hello everyone. With the recent deck spot buffs, I thought this would be a good time to release a guide on every grindable treasure item. So we'll be going out to get, craft, and use the treasure map, the treasure compass, the treasure telescope, and the merchant ring. Before we start, I want you to know that all of these items will be hundreds of hours of investment on your side. These are not easy to get items. There is no pity pieces like the mana pot and the HP pot have, and the drop rate they have is quite low on the different grind spots. So let's get into it. The first treasure is the Archaeologist Map. This item functions like a traveler's map, but it does not share its cooldown. You use it by right-clicking it, and then you can teleport to any city that's close to you. However, unlike the traveler's map, you then get the option to teleport back to where you originally used the map. An icon will appear on the top right of your screen that you can just click, and it will stay there for roughly 30 minutes. This is a very useful treasure if you're grinding on remote areas, or then for your fisher, because you can just teleport to town, sell your fish, and go back to the fishing spot. To craft the Archaeologist Map, you need 4 pieces, and then you need to place them on this pattern. 2 of these pieces will drop on Raut Sulfur Mine, northeast of Valencia, from the Lava Tukar and from the Lava Devourer. The other 2 pieces will drop in Pilaku Jail, southeast of Valencia, from the Iron Fist Warder and the Sodid Derpurti. For both of these spots, I recommend you grind the Deke version because you just make more money, and supposedly it's also faster to get the pieces this way. The next item is Laffy Bed Mountain's Upgraded Compass. This item is quite nice for party play. By right-clicking it, you can create a teleport to everyone in your party to teleport to the location you're at. Your party members have 10 minutes to click the symbol that appears on the top right of their screen to go to your location. Oh, also, because it's a compass, it works like the Explorer's Compass, so it allows you to see the map while in the desert or in the Mergoria Ocean, as long as it's in your inventory. To craft the upgraded compass, you need 3 pieces, and then to combine them on this pattern. The easiest piece to get comes from the Ackman Temple, dropped by the Ackman Elite Guardian. Nowadays, the easiest way to get into Ackman Temple is to just go by the entrance, which has been unblocked. So if you've seen any videos about all the teleports and quests to get inside, just ignore them. The other 2 pieces both come from Istri Ruins. One dropped by the Vodkans, and the other dropped by both Elton and Tukar Baltans. The second piece is the one that will take you the longest. You'll have multiple Vodkan pieces, much likely, by the time you drop this one. Back in the day, the average time for an Elton piece would go all the way to close to 1,000 hours sometimes. With the introduction of 7 Elton rotation and now the deck spot, that time has gone down to roughly 100 to 200 hours average, which is not too bad considering all things. Either way, just like for the map, if you want to grind these pieces, you're going to be grinding the deck versions of these spots. They will give you more money, and supposedly you will gonna have lower average times to drop the items. Next is Laffy Bed Mountain's Upgraded Telescope. This was a treasure introduced in the Lukita region, and it functions the opposite way of the compass, where you can right-click it, and by typing someone's family name that's in your channel, you'll be able to teleport to them instead of teleporting them to you. This works for anyone in your party, platoon, or any guild member. To craft it, you'll need 3 pieces, and then to combine them together on this pattern. One of the pieces will drop at Tungred Ruins from the Tungred Executioner. Another piece will drop from both Darkseeker's Retreat and City of the Dead, from the Mournful Darkseekers and the Telmeloon Elite Soldiers, respectively. And finally, the last piece will drop also at Darkseeker's Retreat. However, you can also get it from a quest from the NPC Ulubala. This quest requires you to deliver 3 Vodkan pieces that you didn't use for upgraded compass. As we said before, by the time you get the Elton piece, it's very likely you have a lot of extra Vodkan pieces, so this is an option for those of you that grinded for the compass before the telescope. Finally, we have the Rich Merchant's Ring. This is the hardest, longest, and rarest treasure item in the game. After obtaining it, by right-clicking it, you'll apply a permanent 5% tax reduction to your account on the marketplace. Which means whenever you sell something on the marketplace, you'll have less money reduced, therefore making more silver. To craft it, you need 5 different pieces, and then combine them on this pattern. To note, there's alternative ways of getting these ring pieces that are not grind related, but it's even rarer and way less likely, so we're only gonna go over the grind spots. The first and easiest piece will come from Shadow Crypt, dropped by the Ahib Dark Mages. This grind zone money is kinda bad, but you are looking at around like 20 hours to get the piece, so it's not that bad of a grind. Now the second piece will come from the Drunk Treasure Hunter on Paddix Island. If you don't know, Paddix Island is a grind zone that's to the north of Etheria, and inside the mountains there's a cave where you can grind. The money here is really bad, and you can get cucked because the drop rate is not that good on the ring piece. You're looking at around 100 plus hours grinding here if you're not lucky, which can be a bit daunting. Now the third piece will come from Sikraya Ruins, both upper and lower. If you're grinding upper, it will come from the damaged lichens, and if you're grinding lower, it will come from the Elmore Mall. Now, the money at upper is not as bad as the previous two spots, but it's still kinda bad, while the money at lower, if you're an Arcade player, is extremely good. However, the drop rate at upper Sikraya is much higher. You are looking at around maybe 100 to 200 hours at upper Sikraya, while for lower Sikraya, for you to get the piece, it will take thousands of hours. So if you're only focusing on the rich merchant ring, you kinda want to grind upper Sikraya. The fourth piece will come from Ash Forest, dropped by the Volcrus. You can get this piece on every version of the Grand Zone, be it normal Ash Forest, Decade 1 Ash Forest, or Decade 2 Ash Forest. However, the recommended is always Decade 2 because it's where you'll make the most money. If you don't have the AP for that though, just try the other versions if you really want, but honestly, Merchant Ring is an item that only the late game players should be going for. And finally, the last ring piece will come from Olans, from the Olans Golem itself, both the arm and the Golem when you kill him. And just like the Ash Forest, it can come from the normal Olans, Decade 1 Olans, or Decade 2 Olans, but it should really be grinding Decade 2, especially because this is a party spot, and it's the one that most people will be looking to run if you're looking for a party. There's not that many people running parties for the normal and Decade 1 version. Oh, also for the Ash Forest and the Olans, not only are you making more money on Decade 2, supposedly you also have a better chance of getting the piece, therefore it's going to take you less time grinding these areas. Now, because we're talking about treasure items, there is a very important system that got added this year called the Allan Serbin's Landscape. This works on the point-based system, just like Agris, where while you're grinding a grind zone, you have a chance of dropping treasure items from another spot. That grind zone needs to be above 300 AP requirement for the landscape to apply, and it needs to be a different grind zone. So if you're using paint from, for example, Olans, you can't be grinding Olans, you need to be grinding another grind area. If you have paint, you need to open the menu, and then add it manually to the landscape of the type of paint that you have. Then you need to activate it and right-click on the icon on top like you do for Agris to make sure that it's running. To get more paint, you either get it from events, which is the most usual way, or then you need to grind the actual grind spot for the paint type that you want. So for example, if I grind Lower Sikraya, I'm gonna drop paint for Lower Sikraya, which then I can use on another grind spot later on. The drop rate on paints is however really bad. You are getting like one paint maybe 3, 4, 5 hours, which is not great. Either way, paint is really important because there's a lot of spots that you really want to avoid grinding because they don't make as much money as the best grind spot that you could be grinding right now. So for now, I'm going to recommend the paints that you should be taking. If you're looking for the merchant ring, I recommend taking paint from Olans first, because that's the hardest piece to get. Then for Sikraya, because that's the second hardest piece to get. And then Paddix. Do never take Ash Forest or Shadow Crypt. Those two pieces are really easy to get, and you should just grind there, okay? Now for the telescope, you want to take the City of the Dead paint, because that's the hardest piece to get. And for the map and compass, honestly, I don't recommend using paint on this, but if you really want, then you're doing Eastry Ruins or then Pilaku Jail, depending on which one you're looking for right now. And that's pretty much it, guys. I hope this guide was useful if you're looking for the treasure items. If you don't know, I stream on Twitch, link in the description. And yeah, good luck on your grind because honestly, you're gonna need it for this. Bye bye.